Hi, this is Todd with Yep, That's Todd. This next video is going to talk about the 5 red flag warnings that I have when you are dealing with a salesman. Some red flags may just surprise you. So, red flag warning number 1. Does your salesman call you back? It is super important that you have a salesman who is always in communication. Communication is key in any type of construction installation. So one thing that I tell my clients to do, or tell my family and friends to do, is if you have a salesman, ask them what role they're going to play in the whole installation after the sale is made. What is our relationship after I sign on the dotted line? Am I done? Am I never going to see you again? You're handing me off to someone and never talk again? If that's the case, at least you'll know up front. For me, I'll never sell anything that I can hand off to someone else. It won't ever work for me. My style is where I'm going to take the customer throughout the whole process. That's how you become a master of customer service, is over the course of an installation of a solar system, there's going to be lots of processes and steps. And the more involved I am on every step, the better I know where problems can arise. If you've got a salesman who just hands it off and hasn't gone through the process fully, consistently, then he's going to be no help. So making sure that you actually have a salesperson who is going to be with you through the whole process, and even more importantly, after. So that's in communication. So call your salesman. Shoot him a text on a Saturday. You don't have to be disruptive, but when we've been recording this video, I've received 2 text messages and 2 phone calls from the same client. He just has questions. He's decided to go with us, and it's my job to answer these questions. He's going to have questions after. I had another client literally today call me, say, hey, I got my first bill. It's time for us to go over it. So communication is how we become masters of customer service. So communication is key. Because remember, if the salesman has communication issues in the beginning of the process, before he's gotten paid, think how he's going to be after he's already got his commission and the investment in you is now over to him. So that's red flag number 1. Does the salesman call you back? Do they communicate with you properly? Now on to red flag number 2. So my next red flag is, does your salesman have references that he trusts? I have a couple of salesmen that I know who do such a bad job that they don't like you talking to their prior customers. I encourage any prospective client to call my clients, because I'm proud of the work, how I communicated with them, how I dealt with problems. Some of my best clients are the ones that stuff went wrong, something broke, something was done incorrectly, and how I solved it. That's where I become worth the money. All salesmen should be able to give references in their past work. Their past work is a reflection on their future work. So always make sure that you pull references. Go look at an installation, talk to a former client of them. I personally have many clients who have given me permission to give their number out and ask how their service went. It's very, very important. Red flag warning number 3 is, I call it drop closing. It's probably called something else, but basically it's where salesmen build in urgency in some sort of way. That if you don't buy today, that you will have to lower the price, or that if they put a sign out, they'll lower the price. That's all built into the price. I give the best price I can. I leave a possible little wiggle room, but I do the wiggle room not just, it's more of a cushion for problems later on, wiring costs, stuff like that. But the main thing when it comes to drop closing is, I think it's just a sales technique. There's very rare situations where you have to buy now. The only exception I would make is, like, in the California region, we had a rule change in PG&E. So that we were really telling people, if you do not sign up now, you will not get the same deal. So there are situations, but they're rare. I would say that one, and then taxes. So meaning, if you don't buy now, we can install before the end of the year to get your tax credit this year. So I would say those are really the only 2 situations where it would go up, possibly interest rates going up by lenders, but all those discounts are just built in and they lower. I mean, a lot of salesmen probably get mad at me when I say this, but I don't know. It's never worked for me. I was never able to do a drop close. I just give them the best price, and it always seems to work out. I know my value, and I know what I bring to the table, and I know that costs money. It's not about greed. It's about overhead. It's about being in a financial situation to do the things that I can do in the service department. Wine and candy costs money, guys. Wine and candy. That's kind of the big difference, is I just don't like those sales tactics personally. They've never worked for me, and they don't work on me. So I try to tell people about them. And then sometimes you just get people who, they want to negotiate. There are just some types of those people that want to negotiate. So I just don't like playing off that. I used to tell clients, like, hey, do you want to negotiate with me with price? I'll look at them like, do you want to negotiate? Well, it's fine. I'm going to add in $5,000. You talk me down for the next hour. That's fine. Or I can just give you the best price right now and we won't haggle at all. And then also sometimes I'm willing to go down and eat into my commission. That is my prerogative. Like I have that ability. And some people will do it. Like if it's an extenuating circumstance or just I like them. I mean, they're nice. If I see myself being able to work with them through the next 3 or 4 months and it'll be fun, I'll give them a better price. Red flag number 4. Do you smell commission breath on your salesman? We consider commission breath meaning that person who is just begging you to buy. And they are giving you every sad sob story. You know, I need this money for my rent. I can't survive without it. You should never, ever buy from a person who is using financial situations to their advantage, you know, begging you to buy or pushing you to buy. Sometimes they push too hard. The great thing is I've been doing this long enough where I don't have to stress. If I don't get the sale, that's fine. I'll get the next sale. Whereas someone starting out, they might have commission breath, meaning if they don't make the sale, they don't make rent. If they're that desperate, how long are they going to be in this industry? You want a confident person who knows how this works. So I'm a big red flag in commission. That's, again, it goes back to pushing. You just should be no reason to push. You don't want any salesman who's pushing you on emotional levels in that sense. It's a bad move. And for salesmen out there, guys, come on. You think it'll work, but they don't last. They don't refer people to you. Pity sales, in my opinion, never work out to referrals. So what's the point? Everything should be pushing you to get referrals and put you in the position where you can become a master of customer service. Everyone can't do this job. Everyone would be a salesman. If they saw my income, my boss's income, my higher earning friend's income in sales, you would want to do it. But there's a big difference that most people can't do a commission-only sales job. It takes discipline, not just discipline in your time, but discipline in financial discipline. Having commission breath can be solved by having your financial house in order. Okay, so red flag warning number 5. So this is more of a preference for me. If I'm driving around in a BMW and a Mercedes, some people might think, oh, he's successful, where other people goes, oh, this guy's gonna rip me off. In the solar industry, in the home improvement industry, I think driving a really luxurious car sends off the bad message, personally. I think some people will think that it's a facade, and I think other people think that they're gonna rip them off. I have a couple salesmen who have really nice cars, and then they have a Honda Civic that they drive to appointments. I think you could only get away with a Tesla in the solar industry. But personally, I think if they drive a really nice car, it's probably not a good move. It's a personal preference. I tell new salesmen, I mean, but you also can't go the other way. You can't drive a beat up car. In sales, you are judging me for every little thing that I do. So just keep that in mind. I know it's really judgy, but that's what we do every day, all day. It's okay to have a new salesman. That's fine. Sometimes the new salesman, remember, guys, I didn't have 20 sales in a month. My first sale was one in a month. They can focus on you. They can learn with you. The question is, how involved are they? Have they been taught correctly, in the sense of, have they been taught to sell and take care of the client through the whole process? Or have they been taught to sell and go to the next one, sell and go to the next one? You should know pretty quick. Again, go back, see red flag number 1, call and double check. Sometimes these new kids are the best because they want it the most. And that can just, it doesn't go back to commission breath. It really comes back to they'll work harder than everybody else. I still have my first couple of sales. I'm still friends with them. I still remember them. I still check on them. They're part of my Christmas list. Anything happens, she loses her email, I'm there to help her. Those are my top red flags when you are trying to buy something from a salesman. I hope that helped. Don't forget to subscribe to Yep, That's Todd on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. In my head, every time you start, I said, don't upset the talent, and she said, Emily? Question mark? Done.